Welcome back. You guys are really ahead of yourselves. You're watching the videos, you're gaining traction, you're closing deals, and that's why you keep coming back here. But you notice something, you are missing deals, right? You're probably right now, if you've kept up with every video, you're probably closing, 8 for 10, but you want to close 10 for 10. You probably missed a few videos. The main problem I'm seeing the most is explaining services. And I think that's where people are getting lost as the prospect. They're hearing you explain their services and they're like, you know what, I've heard this 1,000 freaking times, right? So explaining your services is exactly why you're not closing deals. And remember this, closers, they're not explaining, they're controlling. I control the outcome, I don't explain. Does that make sense? So the more control I have, the better we're going to be. And most accountants, bookkeepers, tax pros, what do? They get on a call and they start vomiting information. I do bookkeeping, I reconcile, I do tax returns, I help you stay compliant. I hate to tell you, but nobody cares. It's nothing they haven't heard before. They already know you do that. I mean, think about it. Why else would they be on the phone? Information does not create urgency. And information does not close deals. So remember that. It's belief. We have to have a shift in belief. So let me say this once so you never forget it. You don't get paid for what you know. You get paid for how you make people feel. Right? So closers aren't going to be out here explaining services. Closers diagnose problems and prescribe outcomes. All right, let me take a drink. We're explaining outcomes. I forgot to take the label off again, dang it. What you need to focus on are diagnosing problems and prescribing outcomes. That needs to be what's going on here. This is how my services can solve these problems, and then paint what that's going to look like over the next 6 months. So instead of explaining what you do, I need you to do this instead. Make sure you're writing all of this down, because what's written is retained. You got to find the pain, like a doctor. Stop talking and start asking. Here's some things to help you out. What's actually stressing you out in your business right now? John, where are you losing money? Right? What's not working financially? And let them talk and let them feel it. It's different if I say it. It's different if they explain it. Number 2, magnify the gap. Guys, magnify the gap. Turn the pressure up. And John, how long has that been going on? And what's that costing you every month? What happens if this doesn't get fixed? And now they're not thinking about your service. Now they're thinking about their problem, right? And the more pain they have, that's going to be the main driver for change. So the more I can make them realize they have a problem, the better off I'm going to be. I got to sell the outcome. Now and only now when you speak, not this crap. I offer bookkeeping and tax services. It's terrible. Right? You got to lean into it, right? Listen, John, what we do is help business owners clean up their numbers, increase profit, and actually keep more of what they make. So instead of guessing where your money's going, you'll have full control and clarity. Guys, and that's what people buy. Control, clarity. I want more time. I want more money. Right? The next thing you need to write down, close with certainty. You have to be so certain that, man, they're ready to sign the deal. Just like that. Just by being in your presence, the look in your eye should give it away. So if I can help you fix this and put you in that position, does that make sense to move forward today? And if you got weak energy and you're saying, what do you think? And you're afraid to be whatever, you should be building connection, rapport, it's called. Right? You should be speaking to people with familiarity. So there should be no gaps in your presentation where you're saying things and you feel salesy. No, that should be washed away through rapport. So closers assume the deal. If I do it the right way, I can assume I'll close the right way. Guys, a psychology breakdown. Here's the truth. People don't buy bookkeeping. They don't buy tax prep. They don't buy your advisory services. You got your CPA title. That's cool. They don't care. You know what they're buying? Relief, certainty, control, more money. If you're explaining, you're losing. If you're leading, you're closing. So if I'm explaining, I'm losing the deal. But if I'm leading the conversation, I'm closing the deal. Keep that in mind. Let that sink in. The next thing, control the frame. Probably the most important skill. Whoever controls the conversation controls the sale. And amateurs answer questions. Closers redirect them. So like the prospect, for example, how much does it cost, right? And an amateur salesperson is going to tell them it's X. Where a closer is going to say, well, great question, John. Let me ask you first. So if we could actually fix X, your problem, and put you in desired outcome, their future goal, what would that be worth to you? You don't react, guys. You reframe. How much does that cost? Let me ask you first, if we could actually fix your problem and put you in desired outcome, what would that be worth to you? That's called a reframe, right? So probably the most important skill is being able to reframe questions and objections with questions that nurture them towards your desired outcome. Labeling's huge. Let's write this down. I call it the psychology weapon. Use labeling. Top closers label emotions before they even speak them. Active listening, like Seneca says, 2 ears, 1 mouth. So it sounds like you're frustrated, you're making money, but you're not keeping it. You told me. Does that make sense? So I may be listening with my left ear, active listening, but I'm downloading data to kick their butt with my right ear. So it seems like you've been burned before and you don't want to make the wrong move again. And when you say things like that, they're going to feel it. So they're going to trust you instantly, building credibility. It sounds like you're frustrated because you're making money, John, but you're not keeping it. They say something, well, yeah, it seems like you've been burned before and you don't want to make that wrong move again. So when you say that, they feel it. One of my favorite things to do is future pace people. Future pace them. So average reps talk about what's going on today. That's probably the least important thing. The reason we're on the phone today is because you're stuck. Life sucks. So remember, closers control the future. So Payne, if nothing changes, where do you see this business in 6 months? If nothing changes, where do you see this business in 6 months? We got to get the answer for that. Right? Now pleasure, so pain plus pleasure always works well at sales combos. So pleasure. Now imagine 6 months from now, your books are clean, you know your numbers, and you're actually keeping more profit. So I give them 2 paths. I love doing the 2 paths, right? There's 2 paths. You either use my services and you have this outcome a year from now, or you don't use my services and you get this outcome a year from now. So which one do you want? Right? Which one do you want? And you got to make the decision emotional. That's the number one thing. Emotion wins deals. Logic kills deals. Let's write this down. I love this. The silence close. The silence close. The silence close. Most people will talk themselves out of a deal. Closers shut up. They stop talking. After you ask, does that make sense to move forward? You need to quit talking and say nothing. And understand that silence creates pressure. And the first one to talk loses. Well, within that silence, they're going to freak out and start saying things. And you're going to download data. All right? Identity shift. I'm huge on this. Right? If a person views themselves in a certain identity, then they think a certain way, they behave a certain way, they get certain results, they talk a certain way. So remember that people aren't buying outcomes, they buy who they believe they are. So one thing that I love to say to people is, Jonathan, honestly, you don't strike me as someone who wants to keep guessing with their finances. You seem like a business owner who does things the right way. Well, I just frame the crap out of them. Oh, yeah, you're right. I am the kind of guy who does that. Oh, yeah, I am. All right. Okay, the next one. You seem like someone who wants control and growth. Just getting to know you here today over this Google Meet, it seems like this is heavy on your heart and you really want this to succeed. So now they're not buying your service, they're protecting their identity. Right? Now, another high-level skill you got to get good at, micro commitments, closing without pressure. Big closes are built on small yeses. Throughout the call, does that make sense? You see what I mean? And you'd want that, right? This is what you're looking for, right? But also understand that some no's are good. It can't all be beautiful. It can't all be roses, but it also can't all be doom and gloom, right? So throughout the call, does that make sense? You see what I mean? You'd want that right. By the time you ask for the sell, I don't know. You said yes around 10 times. It's kind of hard to say no. I call that programming someone, right? Hard to say no when I've said yes 10 times, but also you want some no's in there. Can't be all roses, right? Have some common sense. They'll know if you're manipulating them. They can feel that. People have great intuition nowadays, so they'll feel that. Oh, he's being weird, right? Get away from that. Good rapport always helps with that. Now, let's make this very clear. If you're still explaining your services, I tackled this at the beginning of the video here, you're not in control. And if you're not in control, you're not closing. If I can help you fix this, give you clarity, control, and actually help you make more money, let's stop talking about it and let's get you started. There you go. That's a line that kills. John, if I can help you fix this, give you clarity, control, and actually help you make more money, let's stop talking about it and get you started. I mean, people are going to have a hard time saying no to that, so you just got to build enough rapport to do it. When you deliver this, guys, actually care about the people you're helping in your community. Actually care about the business owner. It's not about getting the prospect. It's not about getting the $500, $800 to do the bookkeeping. It's not about the thousands of dollars for advisory or the business return. It's about literally helping them grow their business. So if this video helped you, remember, check us out, Universal Accounting Center. Wonderful certifications, tax, bookkeeping, and advisory. Like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.